So the subject of my presentation is the use of symbols and pictograms in a multilingual society. I wish I could say that my presentation contains only symbols without words. It would be like utopian. So it's not. Don't expect that. Okay. Well, just a few words. It's the work that I'm going to present. It's not just me, it's the office, Kasher Design. We are located in the north of Israel, in the Galilee, a small design firm, and we're specializing mainly in wayfinding, signage, which we like. Just a few pictures of the office. And maybe 3 or 4 slides of what we do. This is the Israel Museum with 3 languages, sign, new font, another Israel Museum, Tel Aviv Museum. Not all of our projects are trilingual. This is, for instance, for Apple, English only. It became more and more popular for mainly high-tech companies to have not just the signs, even the internal communication with English only. So even if they want to post something on the board that they have go to lunch together, it would be in English. Funny thing. And this is in Ramat Nadiv. It's a very special garden in the north. So this is the kind of work that we do on a daily basis. And this is for the second part of the presentation, 3 not so important facts about Israel. You do hear me, do you?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, because I don't see anything, I don't hear anything, that's fine, okay. Well, first, Israel is an immigrant society with more than 30 different languages and dialects. Actually, I read somewhere that it's 37, including 2 sign languages. We don't see all the 37 languages here. And of course, the 4 main languages, Hebrew, Arabic, English, and Russian. Israel is a favorite destination for pilgrims longing for the Holy Land. And 3, titled mainly by ourselves. As a startup nation, Israel is a magnet for technological savvies from all over the world. This is Monday Company. So all these people need to find a way around somehow. And we at the office realize the need for universal visual communication system is critical. And we're trying to focus on effective information and wayfinding system nearly for 20 years. I spent 5 years in the States. I live in California, actually in Pasadena, not South Pasadena, just Pasadena. I worked for Deborah Sussman, who some of you maybe know, which I enjoyed the years there very much. I think I learned there something about wayfinding and communication in general. I'm going to present 3 case studies that would maybe in a way trying to make a point. The first one is the hospital. Medical center, a new hospital designed in the heart of Tel Aviv, and we've been asked to do the wayfinding signs. This is just a picture of the lobby. It's fairly nice, very roomy hospital. And back then, it was not mandatory to have 3 languages. Now it is mandatory. So we designed it Hebrew and English. And as part of the design, we developed sets of pictograms. We've seen some medical pictograms before. I think they were fascinating. I think it's very challenging to design medical pictogram because it's not like, well, how should I phrase that? It could be very sensitive issue. If you're looking at the micrographic procedure or amniocentesis, we tried different ideas. I'm going to show you some of the ones that we didn't choose. Well, it's one thing to choose a pictogram for an operation room. It could be the person, it could do the machinery, or it could be the action. And I think that here we chose the action, what they really do in the operation room. But with the mask micrographic file, it was very, very difficult to say what would be, because it's an aesthetic procedure. They actually peel a very thin layer of the skin. So how would you do that in an aesthetic way? So we've tried different things, and eventually we came up with one on the left that was fairly abstract solution. And this was another one that was kind of, I was surprised actually that they did choose the one with the needle, because I felt that it was kind of aggressive maybe, but surprisingly, they thought that it would be the one that best conveyed the message. And here is how it came up eventually. And of course, when we're doing wayfinding signs, we're trying to get budget also for orientation map, in which in this case we did. And so using the same sets of pictograms in the orientation maps that are been distributed in several languages. Well, this goes fast. The case study number 2 is from Jerusalem Sign Master Plan. We all know Jerusalem. We all have different images of Jerusalem. This is an image of Jerusalem, one of many that I picked. This one is from Amsterdam, 1657. This was Jerusalem during the 20s. You're looking at St. Andrew's Church, what we call the Scottish Church in the heart of Jerusalem. And this is like Jerusalem today. You have a mixture of people, of cultures, total secular people mixed with religious people. And this is how Jerusalem really lies. If I would show you this picture, nobody would come to Jerusalem, but the daily life of Jerusalem is pretty much like that in some cases. So we've been asked to design like a manual or a sign system for the city. And it started as a pilot, and we're still working with that. It's been, I think, the 7th year since we're trying to get it through. We had a pilot, but there's still a long way to run. A lot of politics. In a way, when we're talking about Sign Master Plan, we're talking about something that will lay the foundation for a systematic, clear, and consistent program. And in the case of Jerusalem, we're emphasizing in its unique urban aesthetic and historic context, of course. When we're dealing with planning or sign plan, we do sign plans for other cities as well. We're looking at several aspects: the content, the messages, the design, geography, where the design will be located at, and management. How do we manage the entire system? We ended up designing a family in a synergetic way, like a family of signs for vehicular, pedestrians, historical signs of different kinds. It's a very long, painstaking process in which you're trying to define and locate each sign. And you're getting into design eventually. In this case, the color was chosen, I think maybe because of the olive trees in Jerusalem, it felt right. And we tried different colors. And in the end, you come up with a system. And then we're starting talking about pictograms, how to use pictogram for each direction, and how we use trilingual system. This font is a very nice font from, we don't have, well, in the new typefaces, we have design starting from the 40s. I think this is from 56, I think it's called Hadassah, and it's a marvelous font. It works very nice with 3 languages, actually designs very nice with 3 languages. And we're trying to get a better idea. We're not the first one who do that. I think we were kind of inspired by Len Sweeman pictogram back then when I was in the States. I remember being fascinated by his work. So this is Mount Zion, Jaffa Gate, and not Amsterdam. This is the only windmill we have in Jerusalem, Yemin Moshe. And sometimes you have to choose, do you show the place? If it's a building, it's fine, but what if it's not a building? If it's a market? So we tried different things, different ideas of how to show the structure of the market, but none of them worked. So we just used generic image of fruits and vegetables. And this was an idea, and maybe I think Nigel said, how can we make a difference? And I think here I was trying to present, beside option 1, which would be the representing of Tower of David only, maybe we could use something that will incorporate 3 languages, three religious, the Tower of David, St. Mary Magdalene's, and Al-Aqsa Mosque. And of course, they told me that it wouldn't even go up the 2nd level. So I should, like, I never showed it before. So anyway, I have my name over there that, don't work with him. He's an avant-garde. We ended up having an entire system that goes on the signs and maps of city center. And this is the first prototype of the sign system. Case study number 3, it's the shortest one, is in Ben Gurion International Airport. We didn't design the original wayfinding system. We sort of continued something that was done abroad somewhere, but we made just a few changes just to modify that. In that case, I'm going to show in the system, and if you look at the 3rd sign, you would see an image for prayer rooms. Now, designing an image for a prayer room wasn't special. I mean, I think that this universal pictogram probably exists. The challenge was that they asked us to design 2 more pictograms for 2 prayer rooms, one that would be for Christians and the other one would be for Muslims, but without showing the cross and the moon, because they didn't want it to be too specific. And this is the space that you can see. On the left side is a prayer room for Christians, and the right side is for Muslims. And there's a flag sign here. And for that, they actually hired a specialist, a woman called Yaska Hari, who is a professor of religious in Israel, and she came up with ideas using the hand gestures. And we know that the way a Christian pray is with the hand like that, or maybe like that. If you see me, I don't see myself. Which Muslims that use the hand like that. And she offered a few options. One of them from the religious myth, if I could call that, like the anchor. And we play with it. We play with different ideas, and we ended up coming up with 3 signs. I mean, the first one, the one on the left, is like the universal sign, and the one in the center would be the one for Christians, and the one on the right for Muslims. And final design came out like this. And we've laid out the sign the way we wanted them. surprisingly, or not surprisingly, in Israel, everything is possible. A month later, we came up when we saw that they did something like that. I hope you're laughing, I don't hear, but I was almost crying. This is all, folks. Thank you very much for listening. Open for questions.